Make the program work for you. I am not someone who is into the idea of reinventing things. It's not my style. I think a lot of people have done really great work, and I don't think that I'm going to create something new that someone else hasn't thought of before that somehow is going to be infinitely better. I don't need to invent a new car or reinvent the car. I just need to figure out how to drive it better than you. Right? Think of it that way. You know, like Michael Jordan didn't have to reinvent basketball. He just plays it better than you. Jimi Hendrix didn't have to invent the guitar or reinvent the guitar. He just plays it better than you. So, with that in mind, let's just jump into programming here and talk about using different programs and making them work for you and making them more effective. So, very first thing I'm going to say is what you're not going to do. Let's get that out of the way. You are not going to do something like, I took Wendler 531 and combined it with Cube Method and I came up with this. Okay. Vanilla ice cream is fantastic. I like ice cream. And pickles are good too. But I wouldn't combine pickles and ice cream. That doesn't sound like that would be something particularly enjoyable. Fuck it. Hey, half-baked. Let's go all in. Ben and Jerry's half-baked is fucking delicious. But I'm not going to put pickles in it. Okay? So whenever you tell me, I took Wendler 531 and Swede's, fifth set and I combined it into a program, that's just some shit you created. Neither of those should be combined together. That's dumb. So stop trying to take this good program and that good program and put them together, because when you take a good program and then combine it with another good program, you've actually just created some random shit. They're not designed to be combined. So stop doing that. That's stupid. I'm going to choose, just as my example here, okay? But you can do this with any program at all. I'm going to choose Wendler 531 as a general idea here, but I'm going to specifically choose Jim's Building the Monolith, okay? Because I happen to think that that's a really great variation of his program, and I'm going to choose the one that's right on his website. It's for free. That's why I'm talking about it. That way I'm not telling you about some book that you guys have to buy. That would be fucked up if I was sitting here telling you, let me read this book to you. That way you don't buy it from that person. That would be a dick move. So I'm going to choose this because it's right on Jim's website. But you guys can find a ton of other free programs. I mean, Dan John has free programs on his website. You can find even Easier Strength or something like that as one of his blog posts. You can just follow it right off his website. You don't have to buy the book or anything. So let's just take Building the Monolith and how you're going to make this program work for you, okay? Let's just jump in and start off with week 1, Monday, right? And it has a squat, so you're going to squat. It's all sets of 5. You're going to first set at 70%, second set at 80%, and then everything after that is sets of 5 at 90%, okay? That could take a while. If you're like me and your goal is strength, you're probably going to rest 4 or 5 minutes between sets because you're looking to maximize your strength output. So you're going to do a set and then you're going to rest 4 to 5 minutes and then do the next set. But let's say that you are a field sport athlete, or I'll use hockey in my example because that's something I'm very familiar with. Your rest time is usually somewhere around 2 minutes between shifts, roughly. Not perfect. There's stoppage of play and all this stuff like that, but let's just say that roughly you need to be ready to go every 2 minutes. So I want to do Building the Monolith, but I'm a hockey player, and so I need some conditioning in my programming as well. And you know what? You can get a bit of a conditioning effect by shortening the rest periods in your training, but you can still work on strength. And so I will tell you that I'm going to take this program here. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change anything about it. I'm going to stick to the program because I'm not going to assume that I know better than Jim. But what I am going to do is I'm going to lower my 1 rep max. So let's just hypothetically say I have a 1 rep max of 100 kilos because that makes it really easy for the math. Okay. Instead of doing 70 kilos for 5, then 80 kilos for 5, and then all the rest of my sets at 90 kilos for 5, right? I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to say, you know what? Jim actually recommends that you take 90% of your max, so that would be 90 kilos already. But I'm going to say that when I start this program, I'm actually going to start at 80 kilos. I'm going to take 80% of my 1 rep max. So my 1 rep max is 100 kilos, because I can't do math, so let's not worry about trying to figure out what the actual numbers are. And we'll just say 100 kilos is my 1 rep max. So I'm going to start with 80 as my gym max, training max, whatever you want to call it. It's my program max for now. So my first set will be 70% of 80, which is something like 56 kilos. Did I do that right? Probably not. Maybe. Then my second set will be 80% of 80 kilos, so 64 kilos for 5. And then my third set will be at 90%. Well, my remaining sets will be at 90%, right? And so my remaining sets will be 90% of 80 kilos, which, is what, 72 kilos? So now my program is going to look like, instead of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 90 kilos, it's going to be 5 sets of 72 kilos. Which means I won't be resting 5 minutes between sets. I'll rest 2 minutes between sets. In fact, I might even set a timer and be strict about it, that every 2 minutes, I really have a 2-minute rest. So I finish the set, rack the bar, push the timer on my watch for 2 minutes, and I start the next set at 2 minutes of rest. I don't mean on the 2-minute mark. That would be weird, because, if it takes you a minute to do a set, then now you're only getting 1 minute of rest. So I'm being strict about the rest time itself. So I do my set of 5, I push the button on my stopwatch, and I get a 2-minute rest and immediately start the next set. Okay? So now I'm going to be able to go a lot faster through this workout, because I'm doing 2-minute rests, and I'm only working with 90% of my training max that I chose, starting at 80% here. And the same thing's going to happen for the press. So, if I press 100 kilos. I actually do press 100 kilos, but I press 100 kilos for a triple, so I don't know what my 1 rep max is. In any case, so strict overhead press, right? We're going to start off with 70%, 80%, 90%, and then it's a 70% AMRAP. Well, again, we're going to go with 80% of that 1 rep max, and so you'll be working with 80 kilos as your working training max. So that first set is going to be 7% of 80. Again, 56 kilos, and then 64 kilos for 5, and then you're going to get to 72 kilos for 5, and then you're going to do an AMRAP with the 56 kilos. Okay? And you'll have short rest times between those sets, because you're working with less than what is your actual real max. How awesome my phone to die right at that moment. Hopefully I can edit this and make it look like it's seamless. I'm lying. I'm not going to edit this at all. That's why this is included. I just admitted to you that it's fucked up. So, you're working with less than your actual 1 rep max. You're working with 80% of your 1 rep max as your training max. And this is going to allow you to get through the workout faster and have a little bit of a conditioning element in it, because there's going to be a shorter rest time. So instead of you resting 4 to 5 minutes between sets, you're going to rest 2 minutes between sets and move right on to the next one. Then we have chins, face pulls, and dips. It has 100 total reps of each. Okay? My suggestion to you to make this go fast is for you to perform it as a circuit. So, and you don't just do 100 chin-ups straight through, do 10 of those, and then do 10 face pulls, and then do 10 dips, and then just repeat that over and over and over and over again. If that doesn't work for you, maybe you suck at chin-ups, and that's totally okay, because a lot of people, well, let me point this out to you real quick, okay? I worked with a lot of offensive linemen. They're like 400 fucking pounds. They're not going to be doing pull-ups and chin-ups. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're like me and you're 160 pounds, then you should not have a problem doing 100 pull-ups. But that's not comparing apples to apples, is it? My 400-pound lineman who, I tell him, you're going to do 100 chin-ups. That's not the same workout for him as it is for me. We're not even in the same ballpark. Me doing 100 pull-ups, I'm not going to be sore the next day. If I make him do 100 pull-ups, it's going to take him 3 fucking hours. It's not worth it. So, you can put in lat pull-downs or something. Pick some pull-down movement. Pick some similar movement. It's good enough. It'll work. We're not really changing the program. We're just changing the movement slightly because I'm a reasonable person and I'm not going to ask a person who's 360 to 400 pounds to do pull-ups. I'm just not going to do that to someone. Do lat pull-downs. And I realize, like, probably most of the people watching this aren't offensive linemen, but I'm just putting that out there just in case maybe one of you watching this happens to be a very large individual and you're 6'8" and you weigh 365 pounds. Don't do pull-ups. Don't try to do 100 pull-ups. You're built to move heavy objects. You're not built to do pull-ups. I don't mean that as an offensive thing. Actually, I mean that as a compliment, and I am jealous of you. I wish I was 7 feet tall and 400 pounds. But I'm not. In any case, you're going to take the chin-ups, you're going to take the face pulls, and you're going to take the dips, and you're just going to run through them. I don't care. You can choose how you break it up, whether you do like sets of 10, sets of 20, sets of 25, whatever works for you, however you get through it. But I would just recommend that you just blast through those. Just go straight from the chin-ups to doing the dips and then do some face pulls or something. I don't even care what order you put them in. Just blast through them, almost like a circuit. And that's really, like, that's how you'd approach day one. Same thing's going to happen on, Wednesday with the deadlift and the bench press. We're going to take 80% of your 1 rep max and we're going to use that as our training max. Because you're going to increase every week, so eventually you're going to catch up. But you know what's going to happen is you're going to get a conditioning effect where you start to recover faster in that 2 minutes. It's going to make a difference. Because you're not a power lifter, you're a field sport athlete, but you're following a powerlifting program because you're interested in building max strength, which is smart. I tell people all the time, you should train like a power lifter and eat like a bodybuilder. It works very well for being athletic. Being strong is good. Being strong is really good. I know everyone wants to do like a single leg and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, that's really good. It's 4th and 1 with 10 seconds left on the clock. I'm going to put my strongest dude on the field who can run through a fucking wall. I don't care which one of you can stand on one leg longest. In any case, and the same thing then happens for the rows and the curls. You're going to blast through the rows and the curls. Just hit them. Superset them, whatever you like, giant set them, blast through them. Try not to rest between them. So don't do like a set of curls and then like rest for 2 minutes and then do another set of curls. Like alternate back and forth between these things and be aggressive. Okay? You're going to get a conditioning effect out of it. Listen to Flex Wheeler. Listen to Stan Everding. Flex talked about how he would do like sets of 25 and he would rotate from one movement to another because he got a conditioning effect out of it. I bet he did. Or like you look at some of these guys, they talk about doing concentric only work as their quote cardio. So instead of them doing like, I'm gonna walk on the elliptical or treadmill or the stepper or some shit, they do a whole bunch of like band pull downs and band pull aparts and whatever. And they're hitting a whole bunch of concentric work. Yeah, there's a conditioning effect. Matt Wenning, look at the Wenning warm up. There's a conditioning effect. Like you can get a conditioning effect out of lifting things. So I feel like that would be how I would apply this if I was trying to make the program work for you, right? And you're a field sport athlete. So you're not a power lifter. Maybe you're a rugby player or you're a hockey player or whatever sport it is that you play. You can still follow a strength program. Just change it ever so slightly to make it fit you. But we haven't changed the program at all. Like you're still going to squat, you're still going to overhead press, you're still going to deadlift, you're still going to do everything exactly as prescribed even. But we're just going to take your training max and drop it. That way you need less time between sets. That way you're getting a conditioning effect because you're not resting long between sets. And don't get me wrong, your sport may vary. So, if you're a soccer player or something, I don't know enough about soccer to tell you what the conditioning demands are, but I can tell you very accurately for hockey. It's basically an all-out sprint. And then you rest for like 2 minutes. And then you're back on the ice again. Unless, of course, it's penalty kill, in which case your coach just puts you out there and tells you, Chad, I want you to die. He wasn't kidding. And I would throw myself in front of the puck to make sure that the goalie didn't have to make the stop, which this is what I do well at. Or did well at, rather. I'm really good at sacrificing myself to win the game. Because who cares if you have to have your teeth repaired afterwards? They look just as good as the real ones. So, there you guys have it. When I talk about making the program work for you, I'm not suggesting that you take the program and butcher it into some bullshit. But what I am suggesting is that you take the program, take the best elements of the program, and then make ever so minor tweaks. I'm talking about changing your rest time to 2 minutes instead of 5 minutes, and I'm talking about instead of using a 90% of your one rep max, use 80% of your one rep max going into the program, because over time you're going to increase it anyways. Eventually you're going to be lifting more than your one rep max if you actually stick to the program. If you actually stick to the program, eventually you will do your current one rep max for a set of 5. If you actually stick to the program and you continue to, follow it and increase your weight. So there you guys have it. Hope that helps. Hope this made sense. If you like the video, like the video. If you have questions, comment below. If you have an opinion, comment below. I don't care. You guys can tell me that I'm wrong, and that's fine. I actually really appreciate it if people tell me that I'm wrong, as long as you tell me why I'm wrong. If you can educate me in the process, like if you say this is why you're wrong and here's a better way, I'm really open-minded. I don't think that I have the answers to anything. I'm not a guru, I'm not an expert, I'm not anything. I'm just some dude who has a lot of experience, but all of that experience came from me being wrong and then people teaching me. So, like, that's where I got it from. I get a lot from people telling me and explaining to me why I was wrong. So if you can give me a better way to do it, I'm interested. I'm all ears. Like, you'll never hear me double down and be like, no, this is the only way. Because I'm not dumb. I mean, I'm stupid intellectually, but I'm smart enough to shut up and listen whenever someone has a good point and tells me something. Be sure to subscribe. We'll talk about other stuff. We can talk about other programs. We can talk about tweaking other things and how to design stuff for, I don't know, if you're training judo or jiu-jitsu or MMA or whatever. There's all kinds of fun stuff you guys can do with your programming to make any program fit your sport. So, hope you guys like it. Hope this helps one person. Thanks for your time.